In this Enterprise Single Sign-On Manager video, we will demonstrate installing the software and creating a single sign-on solution for a product called Goldmine. SSO requires two installations. The first is the core piece of the software called the admin console. The second piece is the end-user client software, which we'll install later. First, let's install the admin console. From within the admin console, you'll have three windows. First window on your left-hand side is the application window. This is where you configure and manage your applications. It also has a section for scripts. On the right-hand side, you have an additional window which allows you to drag actions into your scripts, and we'll cover those a little bit later. And the third window is a bottom one here, which gives you information on the service, on what it's doing at any given time and how your scripts are executing. First, we need to install the SSO service. This can be done up here in Service Management under Setup. The SSO Service Setup Wizard will install the SSO service and configure a database for you. SSO can use two types of database, the Microsoft Jet Engine database or Microsoft SQL Server database. In a demo environment or during a pilot, the Jet database is just fine. For our demo purposes, we're going to go ahead and use the Microsoft SQL database. We need to set up our connection wizard. Select SQL Server. SSO can also be configured to send out automatic emails with report information on the number of logons and type of applications people are enrolled into. Here you would set up the email server for that function. We're going to skip that for now. Now SSO will install the service and also configure our database for us. That's finished. If you need to modify the service settings, you can go up to Service Management, Configure. You can see the database that we're connected to. Here's where you can set up the email settings if you didn't do it previously. Security, you can set up who has rights to actually connect to the SSO service to manage the applications. And then some information on the service version you're running. Now let's install the SSO client software. First, we need to find the installation directory for the admin console. It's under Tools Forever, SSO, Admin Console. Then you'll find the SSO client software. In a production environment, you would push this out through a GPO. Here's the ADM file that will help you set up that GPO. And here's the MSI file that you'd be pushing out. For our demo purposes, we're just going to manually set the registry settings. We can do that by using the 32-bit executable file or the 64-bit file for 64-bit systems. We'll run the 32-bit. What you need to do here is put the computer name of where the SSO main service is located. That's the service we just previously installed. Here it's going to be the same machine as where the client software is going to be installed, so we put DC01. Now we can install the client software. go ahead and launch the application. After the client software is installed, you'll notice a new icon down in your dashboard. Let's open that up. This is the SSO client software that the end users will be using on their workstations. Right now it's empty because we have no applications configured. Let's configure an application. First, we're going to take our default login script. We're going to make a copy of it. We're going to call this Goldmine. It's always a good practice to keep a safe copy of your default scripts. Always make a new copy when you go to work on a new script. We'll do the same thing for the application. Copy our default application, and we'll call this Goldmine. SSO can also be configured to run multiple versions. So if you have 2 versions of Goldmine running, and each of them have a different startup sequence or a different login page, you can set up Goldmine 5.0 or Goldmine 6.7. Here we'll just do one, which will be Goldmine 6.7. And now we need to detect that application. So first we're going to start the application Goldmine. Now we're going to use a nice tool within SSO which allows us to select an application. So I'm going to left click on this little icon and select the Goldmine application. And you'll see here where it automatically tells us what the executable file is for Goldmine. Now we're going to go to our events. After you select an executable, you need to configure 3 steps. One is a login, a bad password, and a change password. Right now we're just going to do a login. We need to select our layout, which we're going to use the same icon here. Select the entire window that we'll be reading. SSO automatically reads that window or detects that window when it opens up by using this information that's here in this window. Now we need to set our controls. Click on Controls. Typically there's 3 controls we need to set. First is the username. Username control. Use our icon button again. Select the username box. Second one is the password. And the third one is the login button. Now we have our 3 control sets, username, password, and login button. Now we select the script, which instead of using our default one, we're going to come down to the custom one, Goldmine login. And here in this window, it will also display the 3 variables that you need to set. Username, password, and login. Now we have that all set, so we can exit out. Now that we have our application set, we need to just quickly review our login script. Typically, using the default login scripts, there won't be anything you need to modify in here. But just to cover a few basics, here we have a few if-then-else statements, which tells us if we're either logged in or not logged in, or if the username and password are already enrolled inside the SSO database. If it's not, then it comes down to an ask credential line, which requires the end user to fill in a little form with the username and password. Then it gets stored into the database. Then it takes the username, the password, and the login button, and it simulates that, putting that information into these 3 boxes here.